You better not pout. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. The DweeBros podcast is starting right now.
So you're before Thanksgiving, not
We're gonna talk games. We're gonna talk movies. We're gonna talk shows and talk about toes. Weirdos. The DweeBros podcast is starting right now. Travis sees you when you're sleeping. Jacob also sees you when you're sleeping. I'm looking in your window to make sure you're clicking like and subscribe. And you better not pout, you better not cry. Because we're going to have fun. The DweeBros podcast is starting right now.
Silver and gold. Silver and gold. Use your credit card to buy Halo Silver and Gold. All right, welcome to the podcast.
I have nothing. I'm sorry. I'm so I'm anti-Christmas.
Every store I'm going into, I think November 1st at midnight, I was walking in and they were playing all this Christmas songs.
Like it's just not it's turkey. Gravy,
until
stuffing.
Thanksgiving comes with the songs, you're never going to get the respect.
I don't need songs.
Come up with Thanksgiving songs.
I have food. Like that's all I need.
We need a Mariah Carey Thanksgiving song.
You got the turkey and the turkey.
Turkey.
You got the stuffing and the stuffing.
If you go on YouTube and type in Thanksgiving song, it's going to be like some school song like
I think of the beans, greens, potatoes, that little remix. You know what I'm talking about? Did you
beans, banana? Yeah, maybe that's the Thanksgiving tune. Who knows?
Name it. Like that song.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
But for now, we're just going to have to skip Thanksgiving. Sorry, not thankful here. Also, I love bringing up, for people that don't know, there was a news story. If you go on YouTube, there was a news station, a big news station that said, all right, well, tomorrow is Black Friday's Eve. They were talking about Thanksgiving. So I always...
yeah, we completely forgot about that.
I always call that to people like family. I'm like, Black Friday's Eve is tomorrow. What are you guys doing? So,
what's your plans? You got any big plans?
So we are the DweeBros, as the song stated. We have great content to talk about. Starting with Thanksgiving.
Oh. Well,
what's your favorite Thanksgiving meal?
Oh, well, go ahead, Travis. You can start.
I like turkey and stuffing.
Classic.
And mashed potatoes. I will say I like making a sandwich, later afterwards.
That's always a good move.
But I'm pretty classic. I will also say, shout out to my sister if she's watching. She reached out and said, hey, this year, could we do sweet potato pie instead of pumpkin pie? Is that a deal breaker?
Switching it up.
And I didn't even text back because I didn't even think that warranted a response. I'm a purist. Pumpkin pie. What are we talking about?
Just ignored her.
Did you make the switch, though? Or are you having both?
I protested in silence.
Oh.
I don't want to be a wet blanket on the sweet potato pie excitement. And that could be really good, but I'm a purist.
Don't like sweet potatoes. I don't think sweet potatoes are that good. I don't think they have a place.
Let's not get crazy.
No, it has to be a certain, sweet potato.
But I would say this, that when you sit down and have a good Thanksgiving dinner, turkey has to be on the plate, not ham. Ham is a Christmas thing.
Listen, ham is wet meat to me. I'm an anti-ham guy.
I got to be honest, there's never been a ham that moved me. It's always just been, that's a piece of ham.
Yeah.
I think
But turkey,
in our area,
I really like.
We have honey baked ham. And that's probably the best quality ham you can get in this area, in the Cincinnati and the tri-state.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's turkey, mashed potatoes with brown gravy, not turkey gravy, brown gravy. Turkey gravy goes on the turkey. And then you have stuffing, your mac and cheese, you have your corn. But then here's the thing. After you eat your first plate, this is where you have to really get... Because you normally go in for a second plate that you regret later. But you have to... Because it's Thanksgiving, you have to go in. You just take that second plate and you just mix it all together and you eat like a slop. Like that's normally what.
I don't do that. That's wild.
See,
you miss one key. You miss one key dish.
What?
At least around my green bean casserole.
See, I don't like green bean casserole. I don't see the.
I've had it prepared different ways, different amounts.
They do cornflakes in yours.
Yeah.
See, that's where I the crunch with the squishiness, it just doesn't hit me.
Yeah, it works for me. It works for me.
Zach, what about you?
I'm a turkey. I'm very picky, but I'm turkey. I usually just get maybe like turkey. I'm trying to think of something else. Green bean stuff. Yeah.
Now wait, turkey, dark meat, light meat, both.
I think light.
See, both is good in my opinion. And honestly, if you want my honest opinion,
I think I've had both.
Turkey goes good in the mashed potatoes. Dark meat's good by itself with the gravy.
The dark meat can be so killer, dude.
Yeah, it's so good.
I think I've had both. I don't know what's the big difference.
Dark meat's more of like a not slimier, but like a wetter, more
juicier,
moist, more flavor.
Okay. I like
white
more
meat's
dry.
more lean
Yeah,
and dry.
I'm more of a dry guy.
No, you can have a good piece of white meat that's like not dry, it's moist, but like the issue is like sometimes it's not cooked properly.
When we
If I
lived
want
in
moistness, I'll eat wet ham.
when we lived in Massachusetts, there's a place called D'Angelo's. It's like a chain.
D'Angelo's is phenomenal.
D'Angelo's, and if you're ever in Massachusetts, go find a D'Angelo's year round. They have a Thanksgiving sandwich, and it is a big long sub toasted sandwich with turkey,
It's unreal.
stuffing, cranberry. Oh yeah, I forgot to say the cranberry is a must.
Well, they give you. Oh, keep going.
It's so
Mayo.
it's all it's got some mayo on it, but they also give you a big cup of gravy.
And you dip it.
And you dip the sandwich in the gravy. And year round, you can get Thanksgiving sandwiches.
Think D'Angelo's never stops giving out thanks. That's the case,
That's awesome.
man. It's
We
phenomenal.
could all use a little more D'Angelo's.
I wish we had one down here.
I wish we did too.
Franchising options.
You knew who is not celebrating Thanksgiving?
Who?
Samus.
Oh,
She's fighting.
I think she's grateful for the things she does out there. I think she shows some gratitude.
Yeah. She's thankful for the powers she gets. But I played a little bit more of that. I think we're all... Are you playing that?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I
What's
think
that? Metroid Dread?
You beat it, right?
Metroid Dread? Yeah, I beat Metroid
What?
Dread.
How?
I actually got 100%. I did it.
Yeah, you're a little farther than me.
Yeah, you're quite a ways farther than me.
Metroid Dread. We talked about it last month,
Yep.
and we were pretty early then.
Yeah.
And since then, I finished it. You're on the back 9.
Yeah, I'm probably 3/4 of the way through. I feel like I'm getting towards
Jacob,
to the
where are you
back
at
end.
on
About
this?
15 to 20% of the way through. I just
Well,
beat
it's
the
all
dude-
the- it's
I
a
beat the dude with the
scale.
belly buttons. What's his name?
That's probably like the end of the first act.
Okay, yeah. So
Craig.
first act-
Craig.
Yeah,
Craig.
Craig. Yeah, I beat him finally. So that's where I'm at. I'm going on to the next area.
I'm playing this the worst possible way you can because I've just been so busy lately. I'll play a chunk and I'll get a new power and I'll
then I
stop,
stop.
and I'll stop and then I'll pick up 2 or 3 weeks later. I'm like,
I have to relearn how I just.
I have
played
to
the
relearn
game.
everything. What power did I get? What door can I open now with the new power that I have? So
I'm not able to sit down and give it the chunk of time. I think the game is
because that's how I usually
Yeah.
do play Metroid. I'll play longer chunks and it's like I know what I'm doing and then I'll pick it up faster. But now I'm just kind of taking big breaks between it. But it's not intentional. But I'm
No,
liking it more.
life's pretty busy.
That was last podcast. I think the Emmy stuff is still ticking me off at times.
You don't
but-
like the Emmy?
At times, I'm just not in the mood for it. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, it's like a fun tag. It feels like fun tag.
Yeah.
And Hard gets beaten, and I'm like, okay, I'm really close to getting out of here. And then other times, I'm like just trying to get to there, and it's like I keep
see it as an
getting stuck.
inconvenience.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'm really not in the mood.
I think
for
it's
it.
a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it gets a little too runny gunny, and I need that okay, I have to slow down and think through this. The Emmy's above me. I need to kind of I have to do things differently. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's nice for me to be able to have a good change of pace when
Yeah.
it comes to the Emmy counters.
But one thing I did notice, and me and Kenny were talking about this, was the load times are kind of weird. I don't know if that was
They're abysmal.
we're spoiled, but
No,
with
they're
the
awful.
PS5, but at the same time, it's on a cartridge.
It's
you think it would
unexcusable.
be?
It is absolutely horrid. in
I can
terms of that.
forgive the load times because the game looks great and
No,
it's
it does
running
not.
on a potato.
I don't think the game looks that good at all.
Oh wow!
I was playing on my
Counterpoint.
TV the other day, and I was like, I see pixels. Like I see the.
You know
I see
what?
ragged
This
lines.
is actually the first Switch game I've not even played on my because I
See,
usually
now, I will
always
say this:
play on
I play on
the
my
screen.
handheld, and I now have the Switch OLED. It looks phenomenal on my handheld mode. And I thought it was my HDMI, but I switched my HDMI cable, and I have a new dock, and
Interesting.
it does not look good.
I can't even have an opinion on this. This is the first game I haven't had time to put
Look
like
at
on
it
my
on the
TV. or
TV. I
anything.
mean,
I played.
I'm sure you played on the
100% of the game, so
Yeah.
I played a lot on the TV. It looked good to me, and I also I don't just mean graphical fidelity. Like it's a solid 60 frames. It's solid 1080p on the TV.
Yep.
Like I just like the art direction. I like the reflectiveness on the environments and on Samus. I love the her different suits. I think that this is
Yeah,
my
I thought-
favorite set of Samus suits. I love
Yeah.
how they worked in a lot of like white into even just the basic orange
yeah, it
and
looks
maroon.
cool. It looks really cool.
It just looks good. These are the best suits that
Yeah,
I've
I don't
ever
have an issue with how it looks. I just have the issue on how how the graphics come across. I guess.
like image quality.
Yeah, I just expect way more.
You're a
I've-
4K guy.
I plugged my I plugged my PC in over the weekend into my 4K TV because I was getting crazy because this game has bugged me. I was like, why I'm not sitting too far. But I'm like, but why does it look so jagged? So I was like, maybe it's my TV. Like I just got worried. So I plugged my PC in. I put a game on at 4K, and I was like, no, it's not my TV.
Well, the game's not in 4K. It's in 1080p.
I know
on
it's
a
not in
4K
4K,
TV.
but I mean, a 1080p still works on a 4K TV.
It's not that it doesn't work. It's just if you're playing a lot of 4K games, it sounds like you are, and then you play this, it's gonna look worse. Like I'm not arguing with you.
But that's my point. As I just have a hard time. Like, man, how are we not there yet with Nintendo?
We need that 4K Switch.
Why are we always a generation behind with it? I don't know if we're ever going to get that. I don't honestly. The more
you know what?
I think on
I'm a believer. You know how like the
they'll
flat
give you a
earthers
3D Switch. They'll give you a 3D slider Switch before they give you a 4K Switch.
I'm like a flat earther of this 4K Switch, and I'm believing it.
I think the next Switch is going to be 1440. I think it's going to be 2K. And I think it'll look really good because that's going to be the best we've ever seen.
You know what? I don't even care. As long as they give me consistent games that run consistently and play well. I don't really care that much. Like I said, Metroid Dread, it's not the end of the world. It's a great game. I really enjoy it. I was just like, man, I wish it looked better on my TV. That's my only complaint.
I need to actually plug it into my TV before I beat it, I think, because
handheld mode is a great way to play the game.
I've almost felt like this is a handheld only game because
I will tell you
on that. But
ever since I got the OLED, and I think the OLED for me,
I think you're the only one. Did you get it? The OLED?
I'm working on
it. Yeah, the OLED, I'll tell you right now, is the best way to play it if you play a lot of handheld mode. I play the Switch in a lot of handheld mode, and the kickstand in itself is worth the extra $100 I spent on it. But then on top of that, the screen, honestly, the screen looks amazing. I how do I put this?
I've heard
you
the
don't notice
comparisons.
definition when you have a screen that's that good. Like, and that's weird to say, but it is. It's crystal clear. It's really vibrant. And then on top of that, the best part is because on the stupid Switch, if you like to play in handheld mode, the kickstand currently is a piece of plastic that's the flimsiest thing in the world. It's so flimsy. The new one is a metal kickstand. And when you kick it up,
nice, they put metal.
It goes all the way up and down. But you know what I do when I'm holding it up is I put it halfway through and I put my fingers in between it. And I rest my fingers there. And it is so incredibly comfortable.
Nintendo Switch hack.
I'm dead. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I don't think I could ever want to play this thing on my TV ever again. Like, it's that like amazing. I'm playing Pokemon right now, and I'm playing it handheld only. I haven't plugged in my TV once. It's that good.
So you got the new Pokemon Diamond?
Yeah, I do have the new Pokemon Diamond.
How's that?
Oh, it's good. I'm about 2 hours in. A lot of people already hating on this one already. I just think like people who are from like the 2D sprite image like era, you're never going to be happy when Pokemon tries to do something new. Like there's nothing.
I
they're
thought
gonna
this
be
was
able to
pretty
do.
the same. You're mad 'cause it's different?
It is a one-on-one remake, but the art style, and they're like the art style sucks. Like this isn't the game we want, and I'm like, dude, get over yourself. Like they gave you a game, they didn't even change any of the things. I got a Jirachi because I played Pokemon Sword and Shield. They gave me a free Jirachi.
Oh,
and I was like,
nice.
this is awesome. I love Jirachi. You know, so I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm not too far to give like an official opinion. It is a one-on-one remake, so.
So if you like Diamond and Pearl, you're gonna like this.
You're gonna love this,
or unless you hate the art style.
I haven't played a Gen 4 Pokemon game since the DS. I replayed Gen 1, 2, and 3 multiple times. I have not replayed Gen 4 because I don't have a DS just lying around. So
I have a good Diamond and Pearl story. My friend, we were in chemistry class together, and my friend kind of knew the chemistry teacher, so he was always goofing off. Like he never paid attention. He was like very bad in that class, and Diamond and Pearl was new at that time, had his DS out, and they were linked up because you could wirelessly. I think it might have been the first one.
Yeah, you could.
Gen 4 was the first one you could wire. Well, that Leaf Green and Bio Red had the wireless thing, but on the DS you could wirelessly like battle. So they were linked up in battle, and the teacher was teaching something like, "Hey, on the whiteboard, we're in the middle of class, and they have their DSs down like in their hood or whatever, like they're playing, and." I don't know if he saw him at one point. He's like, put the DSs away, like screaming at him, like, we're trying to do class or whatever. A little bit goes along, and they're still playing, and we're invested. Like, the whole class knows the battle is going on. Like, everyone in the class is, like, rooting for, my friend or this other person. And they're going at it, and they're, like, looking at each other, like, whatever. They're just whispering at each other. And then my friend is looking down, and he goes, dang it! Like, he lost. He got killed, like, whatever. And the teacher turns around, and he goes, I don't understand the question. Like I immediately went to. I still just crack up.
That's the golden era of Pokemon,
yeah.
man. That's like the good kind of stuff you would just love to see in class.
Yeah.
You don't see that. You can't carry a Nintendo Switch in school.
Yeah.
And get caught.
Yeah, you'd need like a lot more coverage.
Big hoodie.
Yeah, a Game Boy SP, you could hide that. I always hid that in
you
class.
could hit that
I
sucker.
always was playing Game Boy
Dude,
SP.
that was like, man, you could hide that, and it was easy.
We need a Nintendo Switch Lite. It's just like this big.
Game Boy Switch Micro.
And it's
Think about it,
240p
Nintendo.
resolution.
Yeah, 1440p though.
No, 240p.
Oh, 240p?
Just pixels.
$300. That's
You'll
the price
dread
tag.
playing Metroid Dread even more.
That's hilarious.
But that's Pokemon.
Oh yeah, there's a couple other games I can keep going on about, and I think but I don't think there's any other games we all played together, right?
Well, let me jump in. I'm playing a game that is kind of, it's not. I wouldn't say it's really similar to Pokemon, but in a way it is. So I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is a new JRPG. It's on the Switch and it's from Atlas, and it's kind of like demonic Pokemon in some ways.
It's like
So-
Pikachu if he went to a satanic ritual.
Yeah, it's not like
Upside down cross on
Pokemon.
his face.
It's not like Pokemon in the sense of like it's all about, the whole world's geared around them. But well, I don't know. Basically, the setup for the game is you're like a student in Japan, and something happens. You don't really know what. You're in like a tunnel, but basically you come out of the tunnel and the end of the world has occurred, and it's like some number of years later, and there's demons flying around. And then like within being in this world for like 5 minutes, like this robot man fuses with you. It's like a Pokemon fusion, and you become like this crazy, like long-haired robot man that basically you can control demons. And so you go through the game and you're basically walking around this open world, and you can see like, different demons, and you catch them, and you negotiate with them to join your cause. And you collect them like Pokemon. You can have up to 5 in your party. And unlike Pokemon, you have all 4 or 5 are battling at once, like a JRPG. But you basically can, fuse those Pokemon or those demons together. You level them up. They have moves. It's just like move management in Pokemon. And it's a cool game. I really like it so far. Obviously, Persona is a spinoff of the Shin Megami Tensei games. So I've never played a Persona.
Yeah, they share the same monsters usually. It's kind of like a Final Fantasy situation. They share some of the monsters and probably some of the item names or whatever.
Yeah.
Too, but
yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I think from what I understand, Persona is more like upbeat and fun and like
This isn't.
Yeah, this is darker and more kind of parts of it remind me a little bit of like Evangelion. So like a lot more, melancholy. But it's very funny actually. Like when you negotiate with these demons, like you go up and you're like, hey, like you can go up to them, hey, how do you want to approach them? And you can say like, give them a compliment. It's like, I like your hair. And then the demon's like, you suck up, you SOB, like they cuss at you. Or like you can like basically say things to like hurt it's almost like Super Seducer. It's like a mini Super Seducer.
Oh.
It's like, what do you want to do? And you have 4 options.
It kind of reminds me of Undertale too.
Yes.
Of negotiating, like, am I going to fight this person or whatever? At least in Persona, you could say like, give me your money.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll kill you or like whatever, but you kind of negotiate down different stuff.
Yeah. There was one demon, they were like, I really needed them because I needed them to fuse together with another to make something I needed to fight a boss.
Super demon.
Yeah. I mean,
every day.
what I like in the game too is you can register your demons in a demon compendium in the underworld. And when you register them, it's like your Pokedex. It logs
It's a
them.
demon Pokedex.
Yeah, but it logs them with the current stats they have. And later you can use money to buy back a copy of the demon you loaded into the compendium.
Oh, so it's like artificial copying now too.
Yeah, so like you can fuse demons, and then like if you want that demon back the way you had it, you can buy it back, kind of a thing. But it's really neat. It's fun. It's a good turn-based battle system. What the gimmick of that turn-based battle system is obviously it's like Pokemon. There's like 7 or 8 different attributes, and your moves can like do weaknesses. And what I like is you can basically, every time you attack somebody, if you attack them with their weakness, you get a second turn added onto your turn list. So if you got 4 people in your party, you get 4 turns. But if all 4 people use weakness attacks against them, you get 8 turns. So you can just like, it's always like, what's best if I use a weak attack here or if I finish this guy off? And there's some cool mechanics in there. I'm trying to think. Well, one other cool thing is it reminds me a little bit of Final Fantasy V. Which had like a job system where you could blend things together. Because basically, once you like get one of these demons and you level them up a little bit, you can get their essence, which is like it's a consumable, but it lets you take their moves and fuse those moves with another demon. So you can take like if this guy has 2 moves you like and this guy has 3 moves you like, you can use the essence and put all 5 moves on one of the demons. So it's cool. It's very mechanics heavy. The story is pretty minimal so far,
More focused on gameplay.
I would say the Persona comparison, I think Persona is more about the characters and like the story and like the themes. And this is more like, here's some mechanics. Here's a dark, weird world. I think this 5th game seems like the fans of Shin Megami Tensei like it, but some of them they're a little divided. I think they're used to a little bit more plot in these games, and this one's a little lighter on plot. It's not bad. It's just not. It's not the focus. I've been playing for 7 hours, and I've seen like 2 or 3 cutscenes. So,
well, you mentioned a dark weird world. Let's talk about a dark weird world. I've been playing VR Resident Evil 4, Oculus Quest 2 exclusive. Only available on the Oculus Quest 2.
I'm pissed about that because I really wanted to play this.
That sucks for anyone who owns Oculus underneath that. I don't know if that's going to be a forever thing. I know Vader Immortal was originally an Oculus Quest only, and it eventually made its way down to the Rift S store and the Oculus store in general. But with the Rift being discontinued and Facebook moving forward just only the Oculus, I just, no one has an idea of what it looks like. But I will tell you, this is amazing. And I say that in like the holy crap, I might be playing my game of the year. Amazing. Resident Evil in VR, my first taste of that was in Resident Evil 7, and that would make you crap yourself. And I mean, it is. I don't think you gave it a try because not your speed.
But I feel like you could probably make your way through 4. Is that a lot more?
I think 4 is enough scary and plenty of action.
Yeah.
And for a VR
the graphics
game,
are not as good as 7.
Yeah, it's not.
Where it would scare you.
But I will tell you, it is a bump up. Like it's not like it's the things you can get and interact with. They actually look like they look good. You can actually interact with them.
Well, and stuff could probably still jump out at you.
Yeah, and stuff you still get scared. I mean,
Yeah.
I was playing the other day and a bat flew down, and I was just like, "Oh, frick, it's a bat!" And I'm like,
bats and stuff. Because there was
Yeah.
another VR game that's not scary, and a bat came out of a cave, and that like my heart sank.
Yeah,
like simple things like that will scare the crap out of you because it's right in your face.
I think for me, what the game does a good job at is in the original Resident Evil 4, and why I didn't want to play it, which some people love it. I just never thought I love like shooters, like I really do, and having free range of motion. For me is a big deal. In Resident Evil 4, the original, you couldn't do that. You had to stop and shoot.
Yeah.
People love that. I don't. In the VR mode, you can run and gun this sucker all day. And I love that. What's the scariest part about it is while I'm focusing on one wave in front of me, I hear people behind me, and it makes my soul jump out of my body. I recently just got done with the boss fight in the lake with the giant fish. That was great in VR. That was it was awesome because I'm steering the boat with a harpoon gun in the other hand, and I'm trying to shoot this fish, and like it was an immersive and fun experience that I don't think you could experience very much any differently.
Yeah.
And probably the best way to experience it is in VR. So my first playthrough of Resident Evil 4 is going very well. I am very much enjoying that game, and might be one of my favorite VR game, not VR game. Well, it probably will be one of my favorite VR games, but also on top of that, one of my favorite Resident Evil games so far. I've played 1, 2, 3. This is playing my 4 right now, and I played 7 and 8.
Yeah.
I'm skipping all the middle ones. They suck.
Resident Evil
Moving
4.
along.
I'm really glad that you're liking that. I mean, that game is just one of my favorite games of all time. But it's funny you mentioned the lake monster because I played it for the first time a couple years ago, and that like whole sequence, it's like entertaining, but like it's very hokey and like it doesn't hold up well. So it's really cool to hear like that. I could see that sequence being a lot more fun in VR.
Well, it's more tense. Like I feel like if I was in a lake, and I can only imagine what it was like on the GameCube, like trying to steer a boat and shoot this thing. And I don't know what the mechanics were like either. I know they remade the game like 3 times for HD remakes for the PlayStation and whatnot, but it was very like crap. I'm trying to get this fish. I gotta shoot this thing, this monster, whatever you want to call it. And then there's moments when like the fish, like the monster charges at you, and the entire time you have to try to shoot it, reload the harpoon gun, shoot it again, and you're trying to aim for the certain spot. And it's all you. It's your skill. Like so, if you miss, it's on you because you suck. Like that's just how it is. And that's what I love about Resident Evil VR. They reward you for your ability to actually shoot. You can shoot them in the leg and they fall down. And they'll fall to a knee. You can shoot them in the arm, and if they have a weapon, they'll drop the weapon. Like,
and that's how the original was. But now you're like really aiming.
In VR,
you're aiming at those things yourself.
And what's also cool is you can dual wield, which My opinion, I think it's just
Yeah, they didn't
extra.
have that in the original.
No dual wielding.
Yeah, but they added dual wielding, which I think is awesome, in my opinion, because why not? You're running and gunning. Why not add a little bit extra flair to it?
Go nuts.
So I'm enjoying the game. It's very scary, just because it's a VR game and it's Resident Evil. It could be pretty spooky at times.
I just remember there was something I did play. So on Hangouts, Devin joined me as we played Nickelodeon All Stars, the Smash Brothers.
I'm gonna let you say what you're going to say about this, and I have an opinion about that game.
So we played that, and Devin went way better if you want to check that out on the Hangouts, like explaining like the Melee community really freaking loves this game, the mechanics of it, because it's very close to how...
It's very techy.
Yes, it has all that stuff, like the foundation, all that. That is solid. That's like a 10 out of 10. Everything on top of that, this game is not done. It just feels like a hollow experience. There's no voice acting from the characters.
No, none.
There is like minimal effects. The music is like this kind of almost like stock music sounding thing. There's no like... There's
It's a
no
cash grab.
Yeah, there's no like the music from the TV shows and stuff, and I'm like, like I'm playing it going, you know, I'm glad that mechanic stuff got there because people are excitingly playing this and for that, but like, man, I just a full feature thing, this thing seemed like they're just gonna finish it later, I guess, maybe.
They got the rights to the character. Sounds like they didn't get the rights to the whole shebang.
Yeah,
but that's where I think like I played this game over the weekend with my brothers. And I was sitting the entire time, and they were like, "This game is so funny and stupid." I'm like, "This game's awful. I'm not having fun." They're like, why?
As a package, it's
and
terrible.
I'm sitting there, I'm
yeah.
like, dude, I play Smash Brothers regularly, and the current, and people say this, and I'm like, the current Smash Brothers that's out is one of the best Smash Brothers. Like, I get Melee was in its time. I'm not in it for the competitive bullcrapness, dude. Take that, put it on a kite, fly it away. I'm not here for it. You know, I'm here for solid gaming mechanics. One where anyone who's never played the game before can pick it up and at least have a chance to play the game.
Tech-wise, though, this is what those people want.
And that's where I was mad, because I picked up that game, and I had no clue what I was doing. And I'm like, I've played Smash Brothers for years. I looked at my brothers like, I beat you guys red-handedly in Smash constantly, and I cannot figure this game out.
Yeah.
It's so floaty. It's so jank. It doesn't make any sense.
I think that's why they love it. Like,
well,
yes,
yeah, it's just like, I'm getting
perfect.
dribbled by Patrick, and I'm just sitting there like... This just isn't fun. Like, then on top of that, here's the thing: we've entered into a spin now because now Metaverse got announced, which is now turning into. It looks like these companies are realizing they have really good like
IP to
and like,
play around
we should
with.
probably make them all in fighters. Like
Yeah.
it's only taken 4 Smash Brothers games to. Realize
What a
they can use
perfect
that.
time for them to like us to speculate. Is this the last Smash Bros? I feel like that comes around every time, but it's like, hey, we got all these other up and coming. You know,
Who do you
games.
think? I was going to say Meta got announced, and like that's WB, so it's like Batman.
They have some really good.
They got Batman and Harry Potter. I was going to ask
Rick
you guys
Sanchez?
if one of these conglomerates that own like a million things could do one, and you wanted to see it, who would it be? I know who mine would be.
I have an idea. I mean, I have Nintendo's, but currently I wouldn't mind a Disney one.
I was going to say Disney has so
Disney. Would
Disney has
Disney fight
so-
their characters
Yeah.
though?
Disney. If they imagine Mickey Mouse beating up Darth
Man,
Vader
or Darth Vader.
and Iron Man, and like imagine between Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, Disney films,
Yeah.
The Incredibles. Like
There's a lot you can do with it.
they could, if they got someone to make it properly, they could do
They're-
bank.
They're rumored to do the Cartoon Network one, right? Like that was.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I heard that.
I feel like
But
that's a
then,
rumor,
at
but
this
that'd be
point,
mine. Would be the
that's-
Cartoon Network characters, but
You're ruining a good thing.
Why?
I think we're flooding the market.
no, flood it
with
all.
bad things. And
I think if Nickelodeon,
Let's do an Adam Sandler's metaverse.
Let me say, I think if Nickelodeon All Star Brawl proves anything, it's that there's an appetite for more of these. Dude, I've been saying forever, Zelda and Smash. I don't know why more companies don't copy the formula of Nintendo on those two games because they're super popular. Like, there's not a lot of games that
'Cause
you play that are not made by Nintendo that make you think, oh, this reminds me of Zelda. You go around this world and you do these dungeons, like, and Smash as well. Like,
yeah,
fighting game community is always looking for a new game. How many regular fighters are there? Tons. There's not a ton of platforming fighters.
no, there isn't. But here's why. I mean, they've been through this. PlayStation All Star Brawl, like they did that. That game was atrocious.
But that's
You know,
one game, and
they did two of them. They made two of them. They made
No,
a
but
sequel.
what
And it
I'm
was still
saying-
just as bad.
it's one series. PlayStation didn't have the IP to do it at that time.
I think the argument I'm going to make though is that they have someone very special in a developer, like they have Sakurai. And, you know, he has spent since 97,
99,
99 on this genre.
Yeah.
You know, so I think for me, I'm like, of course he's going to be leagues above everyone else. And yeah, I think there is people want this. Yeah, people who wouldn't want
Maybe
like,
Sakurai,
a
they're
combination.
maybe they'll work on like a Tom Hanks universe. Like they'll have.
I would be impressed if someone
Wilson.
could make a game that's just as comparable to Smash Brothers. The bar
That's
is really
not
high.
what I said, though. I didn't say it's comparable to Smash Bros. I said there's room in the market to make another platform fighter that's really good.
But I just
Because look at all the people buying this piece of shit game.
that's what makes me
Nickelodeon
mad
put.
that we're wasting money.
But that's my point is if I am at a company that has a lot of IP, I'm like, we could do something much better than Nickelodeon. No one's saying as good as Smash.
I understand,
But
that's
like,
where the bar is.
no, the bar is at Nickelodeon apparently because a lot of people are playing it. People
don't
want
look low.
anything.
I look high.
There's an appetite for another one of these games.
You're
To me, it
right.
would be like saying no one should ever make a game with Souls mechanics because they're not Miyazaki. I mean, like, there are good games like
Star
Neo's
Wars Fallen Order.
and Neo and stuff, and there's really bad ones. Like when that first came out, Lords of the Fallen came out and it was horrible. And the Surge 1 came out and that game was horrible. And I remember a lot of people were like, nobody should make these types of games with Miyazaki. But you know what? Like over time, like other companies have gotten good at their own version of that. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's awesome.
I think everybody can have their opinion about it, but at the end of the day, I think the bar is set.
Wilson.
I don't
Wilson.
think you hear what I'm saying.
I'm
I'm
hearing
not
what
saying
you're
the
saying.
bar's not
Wilson
set.
is
I
the
know.
ultimate ball.
I just football?
Wilson's the ultimate, the smash ball or whatever.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Something to
Hey,
think
that
about.
would actually be really funny. No, I hear what you're saying. I know that. I think there's a market. Yeah, you're gonna spend money on things. I want people to be able to spend money on things. I don't want people to spend money on stupid things.
Did you buy Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl?
Frick no. I will never spend money
How'd you
on
get
that.
it?
My brother got it. I went to his house and I played it, and I was like, "You're an idiot for buying this."
Your brother bought it. That shows there's a market.
Yeah, he's an idiot. That's all I can say. Like, and if he listens to this, I hope he knows I say it in the loving way. I'll text him right now and tell him they're idiots for buying it.
You should text them that, but no context.
No context. That'll get me really far.
Yeah.
I have been playing other VR games in terms of fighting. Blades and Sorcery did a big update. That's also a VR game. It's now called U10.
Why'd they rename it?
Well, no, it's Blades and Sorcery. It's just U10, which is like Universe 10 or I forget what it's called, Unity 10. What's really cool about this update is Blades and Sorcery has always been a sandbox fantasy combat game. So you have swords, you have shields, you have bows, and you have spells. And the modding community is amazing at this game. They literally just built a mod I was playing earlier today, and it was the Avatar mod where I can now earth.
Is this the one the Star Wars way back
Yeah,
then?
I could do it. Yeah.
It looked like Harry Potter too.
Yep, you can do that
Okay.
stuff too. U10, they don't have Star Wars anymore because once a new version comes out, the mods are obsolete, obviously. But the U10 mod came out with a dungeon crawling mechanic. They now have a automatic spawning dungeon. So what happens is you load into this dungeon, you can select how long the dungeon is and how difficult it is to crawl through it, and it randomly is generated every single time.
Oh, nice.
And
It's like a challenge dungeon.
I'm at probably the 50-hour marker in this game now. I love just putting it on because now I jump into this dungeon and I think of instant oblivion. Like that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through this game and I'm like, this dungeon, I can crawl walls, I can find different ways, I can sneak around, but because I'm just trying to crawl through this dungeon, inside, out, underneath caves, has multiple different mechanics. But also just the modding community has been phenomenal with this game lately. Like I said, I can be the avatar now and I'm pulling rocks out of the ground and throwing them at people. I'm airballing a ball in the air and throwing it. And
Can I ask how long do you stay in VR? Like you put it on, how long do you play at a time for a session?
I think the minimum I probably get about an hour in.
You can play an hour.
Yeah, but the longest I played a session was probably about 3 hours, and I was in Resident Evil 4.
Oh my gosh. 3 hours you were away from the world.
Well, like I was standing, and then like I was like, I'm gonna sit, so I changed the mode to sitting, and I was standing back up.
Damn.
I played LA.
Because you can like hit to like still
Yeah.
to see through those cameras. So you still had it on, but you were like you went to like looking around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played like LA Noire and like those kind of games and stuff like that, and like those are quick 45-minute hitters.
Okay.
Not very long, but Resident Evil 4, I really got
an hour to hour and a half, and I think Batman was the longest I'd stayed in, the Arkham thing or whatever. I forgot what the name of it was. The Batman game for PS4 VR, and like by an hour and a half, like I could feel my body like ooh, like getting a little like my head. It kind of affected
your eyes.
I think it affected my head too because the PSVR is kind of a heavier thing. It stays on really well, but it's like it's cranked onto my head like some
That's
medical
why I like the
device.
Oculus so much.
I think if I had a lighter thing, maybe you can go a little longer.
How's LA Noire?
In the VR version,
Yeah, the VR one.
it's jank. I
Yeah.
mean, it's I like it because like if you like anything that LA Noire's done, it's the interrogation aspect. The gun combat's gun combat, but you get the drive, like real car driving, and there's actually traffic, and it's really weird when you're driving a car in VR because you either do it one of two ways. You either do fully immersed or you do it with controls. Controls is the easiest because that's how you know how to drive a car. When you do fully immersed, when you drive a car, you have like tension and you have pullback. In VR, you don't have that. So I'm driving this car. I'm doing like 60 because I'm a cop, and I'm trying to get this. And I have pedestrians trying to cross the road, and I'm sitting like, why is no one getting out of my way? And then I realized, oh, I have horn. I have a signal I didn't turn on. So like no one. So I turn it on, and people start parting the way and moving.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh, that's why I'm killing a bunch of people. But then like turning is hard. It's just difficult, you know. But it's LA Noire. The interrogations are a blast.
I love that game.
Reading the faces. I'm staring. I'm like you're the guy, and I'm like
Yeah.
this in VR. I'm trying to see an eye twitch, man. I know you're twitch. You're lying.
I love that
I can
game.
imagine the whole time the interrogation. This person is.
I took my hat off. I was slapping the other guy while he was talking.
I love that game,
You're lying to
but
me.
the interrogations are so jank
Yeah.
because there's no rhyme or reason of when they're lying or not lying based on their acting.
Oh no,
There have been people dead to rights. I was like, this person is lying. They look like they're about to laugh when I'm asking them something, and they're not.
My favorite part was one of the interrogations. The guy I was talking to him, and you have a notebook you can pull out. So I pull my notebook out, and I'm like, I'm going through my notes, and I ran out of options. And I was like, okay. And I shut the notebook, and I just started punching him because I had nothing else. Like I was like,
real
Sounded
cops.
like that.
so, yeah. So he started
A real
talking. He
investigator.
talked, and I was like, oh, okay, that worked. I punched him, and he talked. So that's good.
Oh, I'm out of questions.
I had nothing else to
You're-
go off of.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to clam up on me. You gotta get him to talk.
Yeah, you
somehow.
got to start slapping people around when you run out of questions.
That's right. That's how it's done.
Man, oh man. Well, what else? You guys
What
play
else has
anything?
happened?
I played some games.
Go ahead.
Okay, what'd you
Got a few
play?
games I haven't talked about. So I played and I beat Psychonauts 2.
Nice.
So I really liked that game a lot. It's I think I talked about it last time.
Yeah, I think you did.
Run around in people's brains. Now that I've finished it, you know, I think that's one of the better stories I've played in a game in a long time. I really like the themes that it touches on. It's very adult, but in like a kid way. I don't know. Pixar kind of does that sometimes.
Yeah.
Now that I've finished it, it reminds me a lot of Inside Out, because just you're going inside people's heads and dealing with their emotions. But the way that they work like mental health and emotions and people's baggage into all the gameplay and mechanics and stuff is really, I think it's first class. It's a really
Awesome.
good game. I saw it got nominated for Game of the Year. It's definitely in the year that we've had, it's definitely that kind of a game. The only real like downer I would say about it is trying to think how to put this, because when I first started playing the game, I was like, man, the combat feels pretty good, you know, and the combat does feel fine. I think I would just say there get to be points where the game will just throw some enemies at you and throw some enemies at you, and they give you like things you can, like different tools. You got like 6 or 7 different powers you can use to fight them, but like a lot of times the most efficient thing is just to spam this little shot and just punch everybody. And so it gets to be kind of repetitive where you're just dodge, punch, 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 punch. And like the animations aren't particularly like, it's not that it's jank. It's just, you can tell like combat design and encounter design is not like what they're the best at. They're the best at writing stuff. They do really good art direction and world design. The levels never really overstay their welcome or anything. And each of the levels, like worlds, are very, very different. And the puzzle design they're pretty good at. They're really good at. But the combat is it's like it just needed like another pass, or it needed somebody that just, like, I imagine, I didn't play Ratchet and Clank, but like there's just an extra level of polish and juice that like some of those AAA bona fide platformers have, that like this, it felt like somewhere between AA and AAA on the combat. And so that's the one thing is like, I would recommend that game to anybody that likes platformers and likes kind of collecting and like a good story in their game. But as the one thing I would say is just like it's not like the most fun when you just keep getting into combat. There is one thing I actually thought of you because we went to Disney World this year, and one of the worlds, this is not really a spoiler, but just kind of light whatever. They're so inventive. Like one world you go to is like a rock concert and a festival, and the different parts of the guy's brains are different band members. You got to go find to put the band back together because this guy's insane. Like, and he was a rock singer. But there's one. It's a guy who he is bad, but he thinks he's good. And you go in his brain and it's like Disney World and you get on a dark ride, like It's a Small World.
Yeah.
And you go through and it's all the different parts of the ride are like what he tells himself in his mind about why he's good. This is Golovia. Like, and like it's a dark ride and the ride like breaks down and you have to go like fight minions and get the ride going again.
Oh, that's funny.
And it literally, it's like It's a Small World and they really do it up and it looks amazing, but it's also like you can tell it's a ride. And we just went to Disney World and rode It's a Small World. I was like, they definitely rode that ride and 1-to-1, like the different parts of the world are dancing and like it's very, very, very inventive. There wasn't a single world that I got to and I was like, well, the next hour of this game's gonna suck. Like they all were cool. So if you like platformers, definitely recommend it. It's a good game.
Cool.
I started Forza Horizon 5. It's a really good Forza Horizon game. I played 4 last year, had a blast with it. 5 so far feels it looks better because it's next gen and it plays amazing. I will say it is like the menus and stuff. It's a lot like Forza Horizon 4. Not that it's a Madden situation, but like because it's a whole new world, like place that you go and map and stuff. But it is like I wasn't sure because I never played any of these back to back. I was like, this feels like a refinement of 4, not like, oh, it's next gen, so all the menus are different. But one of the things I realized that I like about those games is I've played like 10 hours and like you can do a lot of races, but like half of that time has been like missions that are crazy. Like in Forza 4 had this where like there's a subplot of like they're making a movie and like you show up to different locations and I need you to do this stunt and it's fun. It's like GTA is like, you need to do this and you need to flip and you need to do that. And so you're trying to solve that. Or parts of it reminded me of you go to an airfield and you have to go off these ramps and like collect these things. It reminded me of Tony Hawk.
Oh. Like
I have to like go figure out, oh, this is up here and there's a ramp here, but that, oh, okay.
Cool.
And you got to figure it out. And so they get a lot of mileage out of the car gameplay.
You should market this game.
And the racing's really good too. Yeah, I should have. Yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is cool. It's a good game. And then I'm also picking back up a game called The Ascent, which is on Game Pass. It's like a top-down cyberpunk kind of world game. I like it. It's one of those games a little bit more extreme. My criticism of Psychonauts 2. It looks really good, and I like the world, and the writing's pretty good and stuff. The gameplay, like it feels pretty good, but like it's just like that extra layer of polish I wish it had. Some of the shooting just feels a little off at times. Yeah. It's actually why I dropped it earlier in the year. I got about a third of the way through it and I picked it back up again recently. So The Ascent, it's fun if you like sci-fi.
Man, when the gameplay is not good, like combat, like that is a huge core.
It takes you out of it.
The story can really suck. If I'm like having fun with the gameplay, I'll just keep going at it. But depending on the game, I guess. But that just reminds me of Deadly Premonition. I really was invested in the goofiness. But I was like, this gameplay is so ungodly bad this time around. I really just can't. I have to watch. I watched it all on YouTube. I was like, it's such a waste of my time to play.
Cutscenes.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of like playing it. But
yeah, I would say I played Deadly Premonition 2. I watched you play it. Nothing like that. It's more.
Yeah,
I'm trying
more
to
extreme
think,
level.
I'm trying to think because we don't get a lot of AA games these days. Like what I would compare the Psychonauts criticism to. I really can't think of a game off the top of my head. I think The Ascent and Psychonauts are both good games. I think The Ascent's like, 7 or 8 out of 10
That's
type
what they
game.
are.
Yeah. Psychonauts, I think its writing and its world design, it gets up until like the 9 out of 10. Like it's not a 5 out of 5 for me, but like it's a very good game. I'll remember it. So.
What else is a 5 out of 5 game I played? Final Fantasy X. Started on the Hangouts.
Yeah.
I've started a full playthrough. It's going to take me ages to get through this thing.
That's the first Final Fantasy I beat.
But I think I'm going to just take it little by little, and I'm also doing all the speed stuff, the speed up, the fast forward, and I'm going to just do the.
You'll get through it in about 15
I'm going to use all
20
that stuff
hours.
just to talk through it. I'm just kind of having fun and people coming in talking about it. So that's been fun. Jumping back into that because it's the 20th anniversary this next month. It's the 20th anniversary, which is crazy.
Maybe they'll announce the remake.
Yeah, maybe it might be time.
I never played that one. I've been wanting to play the remaster, and then you told me the other day it's been like 6 years since they remastered that.
I mean, the remaster still looks okay. It's not like it's like a
Yeah,
I'll play it, but it just made me laugh that
Yeah.
I've had something on my backlog for half a decade.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean the game. Again, first Final Fantasy I ever played, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great game.
And we
Great story.
also were playing because you can switch back and forth between the old soundtrack and the new
Yeah.
soundtrack. And I was like, I remember people saying they hated the new soundtrack. Why? And Pierce has been joining for the podcast, or not for the podcast, Hangouts. And we were sitting there like trying to like listen to it. I was like, why do people not like this? And we're like, okay, this does suck. Like the newer
Like, well,
some
we
of the
know why
newer
now.
stuff lost that special.
Are you
Yes, I
playing
do.
on PlayStation or
I'm playing on PC.
PC.
And is that just in the menu? You can just switch it?
Yep, you can switch
Okay.
right from the menu, like the old to the new and stuff. So, yeah, that game rules. But playing through that little by little, I think I'm gonna just do some, maybe some like extra ones to like get through that and stuff. But I've been having fun getting back into that. But that's Hangouts.
You missed the game.
Oh,
Halo Infinite came out. And if you can't tell by them what they're singing right now.
Halo Infinite. It stealth dropped on the anniversary, I think, of Halo 1 is when it came out.
Yeah.
Which is
The
kind of
multiplayer did.
unexpected, especially for a game of that magnitude.
It's unexpected unless you're on Twitter and follow a lot of Xbox people, because there were so many hints and so many people talking about it throughout the weekend that
I wonder what'll happen on the 15th.
it
or
was
whatever.
like it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that it was
Yeah, but
happening. But
for
it
me,
was
I
a
didn't
stealth
know.
drop. It
Yeah,
was.
It was a stealth
I
drop.
didn't know personally. I found out through text messages. And I was like, oh, all right.
They played the stealth drop to perfection, because you don't ever want to just actually stealth drop, because
Yeah.
then like no one will play it.
No, they get on the day you
don't
told
wanna-
them to come out.
You don't want to Sega Dreamcast
start-
it, who just put it out in the stores. Like,
They
hey,
started the
console's out
build
there.
up like Thursday, Friday, and then over the weekend they were getting hints dropped, and then they
Or no, I
think the
have to
biggest-
correct myself. Sega Saturn did that. They stealth
Yeah,
dropped. They
yeah.
actually stealth dropped that console. Not
I think
Dreamcast.
the biggest thing though,
Somebody
is,
was typing up the comment.
Halo Infinite came out,
Funny.
and so they released the multiplayer for free, and the campaign is the only paid aspect of Halo for Halo Infinite. In which a lot of people are like, "Wow, this is an insane move."
Because for a lot of people, that's like the most fun part.
yeah, I
is
mean,
multiplayer.
yeah, the multiplayer is most fun. But some people like don't play the campaign,
Yeah.
which I would say is kind of bullcrap. I think most people who buy Halo end up playing through the campaign.
I think more people play through the campaign of Halo than like a campaign
Call
of
of
Call
Duty, yeah, dude. I don't buy Call
yeah.
of Duty for campaigns.
Can I correct you on one thing?
Yeah, what's the one?
The
correction?
multiplayer is not free; it is free to play.
Yeah, free to play.
Very big difference. Very big difference, because I think it's a smart move. Because if you look at Call of Duty, Warzone's free, but then they're trying to sell Call of Duty Vanguard, and
Yeah.
they're having trouble because everybody likes Warzone, and they're
Mhm.
going to keep supporting Warzone. So why buy Vanguard when you just keep playing Warzone? I think it's smart to make the multiplayer free to play, because people will buy the skins and buy all this other stuff. We've been playing the game, and
Yeah.
there's a ton of stuff in that marketplace. I've been seeing a ton of people online buying that stuff. So you get max amount of people into the platform because it's free to play. You can install that game.
Yep.
Then when you install it, it's not like it's only multiplayer. You see campaign, you see multiplayer, you see all the buttons on the main menu. If you click campaign, you don't own the campaign, then it's just always there in front of you as something you can buy, especially if people start saying they like it. And then the multiplayer has a whole marketplace.
Yeah, Call of Duty
inside.
does the exact same thing. They shove it in your face, make sure they know like you don't have this, you need to go get this. Which
You
at
don't
the end
have
of the
this
day,
hat.
Anybody with any kind of brain power or willpower know what they want and they don't want. But also on top of it, I think it's awesome because, in my opinion, Halo's never done the thing where you need to like max out guns. All it is customizables, right?
Yeah, there's no
There's no-
leveling of
yeah,
the guns.
Yeah. So for me, like this is like awesome. I don't have to spend money now because you know what? I don't give a crap what my dude looks like. I just want to teabag people. So if I get to do that, who gives a crap?
Until they put that behind a paywall.
Oh, I put up.
Can't
Oh
teabag.
man, I'd teabag Microsoft. That's what I'd go do. But I do think it's smart. a lot of these games, a lot of these shooters go that direction. And
It's working out for them because they keep doing it.
Well, yeah,
for some reason
they're making a ton of. You know what? Here's the thing, and it's absolutely mind-boggling. They make so much money on DLC purchases or like cosmetic purchases. You know, Fortnite became pretty much made Epic a company because of the things they did. You know, and I know Epic was a running company beforehand, but you get my point.
They're different levels.
They are way
and they're gonna
different.
drop like map packs and all this other stuff. Like it's a continual stream for them
100%.
to be doing that. Like, hey, we got a new hat for Master Chief. Well, I gotta get the new hat.
Yeah, I just think
That's smart for him.
You know, the game. What I heard, the game is absolutely fun. I keep seeing videos of Splitgate versus Halo. That's been the videos I've been seeing. Like,
Yeah.
which one is better? And it's like, you know, they're both their own game. They're both free. One just has a portal gun.
Splitgate feels like that AA thing I told you earlier.
Really?
It's fun. I like
Yeah.
Splitgate a lot, but like this Halo, I'll put my cards on the table. I think this is probably, if you told me you're gonna have to play Halo multiplayer for 40 hours, this feels really good. Like this is probably the best feeling one of the bunch. It feels great to play. You know, I don't know the new maps super well yet, but I actually like them. They feel like Halo maps. They feel like, which I don't think that maybe that's been the case the last couple Halo games that have been made. Halo 5 tried a thing, I believe it was 5, it might have been 4, where all of the maps were segments of levels from the campaign. It was their attempt to like bring the campaign and that did not go over well. I think it might have been Halo 4. I know people were very not happy with that.
I know Halo 5's multiplayer is awful. If I remember correctly.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, it might have been that. But I like the game a lot. I like the weapon sandbox. They've added a lot of new weapons. It's not like the same old stuff. Like there's some of the same stuff, but a lot of new weapons that feel very Halo, but they feel fresh.
They have a grapple gun, if I remember correctly.
Well, it's not a gun.
That's something to talk about. Is the grapple gun?
They've got equipment. Yeah, it's
a
like,
piece of equipment.
It's like you press the bumper to use it, and I like the equipment in this game. I forget that I have it a lot of times, but it's good and it adds a little something to the game. And I think it's really fun. I don't necessarily have a gigantic speech about it. There's nothing. The only thing I don't like is the progression system. It moves extremely slow. I've probably played 30, 40 matches and I'm level 3 on the battle pass.
But
you got to buy the battle
cares?
pass.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
You don't have to spend money on it.
Well, I mean, even if I bought the battle pass, I still would be moving through it slowly.
But you know what's crazy? They know that people are going to buy it no matter what. And that's the
I'm
crazy part about
also from a different generation of I played Halo 2 and Halo 3 being my favorite. And you played the game and whoever won and then it loaded you into the next match. Like there was no like I don't think there was any like progression
Halo 3
stuff.
had levels. Yeah, you moved up the ranks of the military and
Yeah, but even then, like I guess go back to Halo 2, like there wasn't the fun was the match and trying to like fight with your friends. So it's like I think all this extra stuff of like not saying I don't like it, but like that's something I
Who cares if you're prestige match or 8?
Hold on. I see what you're saying. The problem is that you weren't even in Halo 2 and 3, which I think 2 had ranks too. In those games, even if you did whatever, however much it went up, every match it went up.
Yeah.
In this game, they give you daily and weekly challenges. And what was happening was people would complete their weeklies. You don't get another one. And you get like a couple daily challenges. You could play matches and gain 0 XP.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people were complaining about.
Sure.
Like,
that's
that doesn't feel great when you've got this bar.
It's not
if
good
you
to have
buy the pass and you can't unlock the things you bought. That doesn't feel great.
Yeah, what I'm
that
saying
doesn't feel good.
What I'm saying, yeah, I agree that people are complaining about this and they are trying to fix it and they're trying to change the dials here. There's not much incentive as the other shooters around to like keep playing or like your ranks or your experience.
No, it's
and
your
stuff.
typical multiplayer trap.
Yeah, they're kind of missing out on that. But as far as whatever, I was just having fun playing with my friends, and I was like, okay, like whatever rank XP.
You know, that's
whatever,
what Halo's all about, though. Is you get on like my brother plays Halo religiously. I mean, there are 2 games he plays a lot. It was Call of Duty back in the heyday, but then there was Halo, and he played Halo. My older brother, and right now, he's currently. I guarantee it. I'll put money on. I'll call him right now. I'm like, what are you doing? Sit at my computer playing Halo. I call him tomorrow, around the same time. I'll ask him, what are you doing? Sit at my computer playing Halo. It's the same sinking thing for him. He loves that game.
Yeah.
You know, some people. So that's probably like Battle Pass. That's probably gonna be for him. It just will be,
Yeah.
and he won't even think about it twice.
Well, I mean, it's $10. It's
Yeah, but you'd buy 6 Battle Passes at $60. That's a video game.
this season is 6 months long, so I mean, like,
So then the bar can move as slow as it wants to go if it's 6 months long.
I think that's what people have come to the conclusion of. They made it go slow because it's a 6 month season.
Yeah, and in that case, like because I'm used to Call of Duty where it's like every game you end, Prestige, Prestige Doritos Master, and it goes across the screen.
I'll agree
like
with that. A lot of them move really fast.
Yeah, and it's like I don't need that, dude. Like, let me just play the game. Let me just shoot people, actually get XP for teabag people, and move on.
But as far as the game, really enjoying it. I think I need to play a little bit more to see how I feel about it ranked up with Halo 3, my favorite, because I love how Halo 3 feels. But the one thing that we were talking about was the grapple hook, which I was under the impression I was going to have that thing, like, oh, I can't wait to whatever, and I found out that was an equipment thing that you pick up or you get during a match or whatever. To the point where we were trying to make a custom game, like just give me the grapple hook from the start, but there's nothing like that yet.
No.
So I guess they're hopefully going to change the game modes around, and
I think that they'll react. People are.
I want that grapple hook all the time.
People are universally like replying like this grappling hook rocks. I gotta imagine with all the custom game modes, they're gonna find a way to put that setting in there where you can make everybody have the hook, and because it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
That's what it should be.
I will say, I do think you'll be able to do that in campaign. I don't know if you read the thing I sent you, but they've been doing campaign previews. The press has had the first, I think they called it first third of the campaign, like 10 hours or 6 hours or whatever the campaign. And I've read many of them because I have a couple writers I like and follow that play a lot of Destiny, play a lot of Halo, play a lot of these games. Didn't like Halo 4 or 5, a couple of them. And they are like universally, I even laughed. There's a guy from Giant Bomb, Jeff Gersman. He doesn't like anything. Like he's like notorious. He's extremely jaded.
Yeah.
He doesn't like anything. And he's like, this campaign kicks ass. He's like, if they maintain this will be the best one they've made since 2 or 3 probably.
Good for them.
But what people said was in Halo 1, you would like in the second level when you're on the Halo, you drive like to all these different places and like it's like, hey, you need to rescue these three groups of troops. They're in these different places, and you kind of are exploring, trying to find it. Someone's like, imagine if you stretch that type of world exploration out for like a whole game. Like that's what it feels like. And I also heard it compared to Metal Gear Solid 5, where you're doing a lot of saving soldiers and they're building up an army. And as you save soldiers, you unlock the ability to airdrop in supplies, and it gets to the point where you can get infinite of things, Halo Infinite, and you can get infinite grappling hooks. And I think that like that's going to be a lot of the gameplay progression is like. Anyway, that being said, reading that stuff, I'm glad this game is coming out this year. I think it comes out December 12th.
Yeah.
So I will be playing it before the end of the year because I think that this year has been kind of whack. Like I have games I like, but there has not been a bona fide game of the year. I'm going to play this.
Maybe Halo will swoop in.
Yeah,
well, technically it's in the fourth quarter, so I'd count it for next year. But yeah, maybe
it counts for 2020.
It does count. Hey, before the
you're not
clock
Jeff Keighley.
strikes
We've never
midnight.
had. What
We've
happened?
had this discussion.
What do you mean?
No, we have not.
We've
You're
always
crazy.
included anything that comes out this
But
year.
you know, sometimes something comes out like the last week of December. You're like, man, I didn't get a whole year to experience this. Maybe
But if it comes out in the calendar year,
it's not like Halo Infinite would be booting some immaculate masterpiece. Like I've liked a lot of games this year.
I haven't loved anything.
I haven't. I'll say that I have not loved a single, and I've beaten 7 or 8
Resident Evil
games.
4 is phenomenal.
I really have not felt this way about like video games this year since 2014. With 2014, it's like Smash Brothers was fun that year. Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But everything else I was so mad about that year. But every year since then, 2015 had Metal Gear Solid 5. Like
this is a new generational year.
Every year had something I like loved. Like, oh, that's like when I play, I go, this is mine.
2022 is going to blow our pants off.
I think it might.
It'll be crazy.
It's going to be. I mean, if you're not rich, you better get rich. And that's all I can say.
If you're not rich, check it out.
I even was looking into like, did I miss any like big indie games?
Yeah,
there's not a lot.
No.
I've liked some things, and we'll do our thing. But
We'll do our thing.
I have one stealth pick for game of the year, but I would be stretching the rules in multiple ways.
Well, I feel like we've done that before at this point.
But but
we
if,
had somebody one year didn't have it. You might have done it. Of like, I didn't really play a lot this year. I'm going with something from like I played this year that was older.
I've done that before.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah,
We might have to do
I
that.
played it this year, and I'm counting it for my game of the year.
A
this
crazy
year.
vote. We'll call it crazy votes.
I try to keep remasters and stuff out of it, but this has just been.
But you know what's awesome is gaming is going to continue to evolve, just like how Meta is trying to change a bunch of different things. If you guys haven't heard, Meta is a company that's going to be created from Facebook, whatever it is, new social media platform, whatever. But if you guys don't know, Facebook owns Oculus, which is one of the leading VR companies that are out there right now, and they are working on Meta gloves, VR gloves that will be taking the place of controllers.
Porn is going to be crazy on this thing. Give me those gloves.
Why is that the first thought you go to?
Just give me those gloves.
I don't understand. So,
I'm not talking about porn. I'm just saying give me those gloves. Sorry, I should have separated with a comma.
Yeah, you probably
Or
separated
period.
the comma.
I said porn is going to be crazy on these things. Period. I need these gloves.
You know what's gonna be crazy? Popping gang signs in Halo VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's cool with these gloves though is what they're really trying to experiment. One is also cost effective. Oculus is taking a hard we want to be a cost effective VR company. They are for $400 you get a very functional headset compared to where every other headset out there is ranging up to $700 to $1,000. The gloves that's currently being produced, which we probably won't see for another couple years. This is just talking of the news because it's been ramping up. Is they're working very hard to get haptic feedback in them. Now in VR,
is this? Did we see the same video, or was this something else?
I think we saw the same video where you have the black ridges.
There's black ridges, and then they all kind of they pushed upwards or they went down, so you could actually touch a cup, and actually it'd
feel the cup.
The cup, you could actually be touching the cup.
Yes,
and
so
you'd have feedback.
They
on
said
the
standard right now is an orange. So in the game, they were saying that an orange feels very smooth, but has some ruggedness to it on the outside. How do we create that in the glove? Well, then they said we realized you can't. So now the goal is to create it as close as you can to trick your brain because you see as an orange to be like, this is an orange, and they're like, yeah, we figured it out. When we pick an orange up in VR, it's that feels like an orange because in your mind you see the orange, yep, it makes sense, and because it's pressing your hand based on where the orange would be. And they've been working on hand tracking for a while. If you get an Oculus Quest 2, you can do hand tracking without controllers on your Oculus, and I done it fully functional. Oh
wow,
point, click, tap, whatever, it's all there. So the fact that we are getting haptic feedback gloves in VR. I'm sitting here thinking about how what is it going to stop?
I saw in the video too, if it's the same one, they did thumb war.
Yeah.
So they grabbed the in VR through VR and grabbed it and did thumb war and stuff. You could feel with the thumb,
feel the pressure on it, and
yeah.
It's impressive the things they can do, and they've had haptic suits and stuff like that, but they've been really expensive to get a consumer model that you can get a hold of. Again, I'm a VR nut. I have ran through my fair share of VR headsets. I would have a VR treadmill if I could. That's how much I love VR. But
if we could just get body suits that could feel,
you can do that.
I would
pretty cheap.
Could you imagine if somebody posts something you don't like, you could go in their metaverse and be like, I'm going to fight you over what you said,
metaverse,
and then just start punching them. And
as much as people dog on Facebook being a crappy company, they're doing VR right. And I'm not going to complain about anything they're doing VR wise.
They're putting a lot of money into VR.
Yeah, and they should. It's a good platform that's pretty untapped. Yeah. I'm waiting to see what PlayStation does. I think 2022 we're going to see some more insight about what they're planning to do with their stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't use a camera from PS3 era.
I think that's done. Yeah, I think that's over.
I'm hoping.
Yeah,
that's the case.
There's going to be a new camera system.
But
I think that Facebook, I guess what Meta should do with Facebook, the app and I think it's time to Realm Reborn that thing. What if Facebook, it was just everybody log on to your wall and it just was end of the world and then everybody start over. They need to just
Realm Reborn Facebook.
Fortnite event, Travis Scott.
I'm calling it
concert.
now. In the next 3 years, Facebook will go away and it'll become Meta Life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Bookmark this.
Bookmark
in
this.
3 years, you're going to be watching Mark Zuckerberg say, He's going to Realm Reborn Facebook because they know they have a problem with young people don't like Facebook. It's going to become meta life.
And on your wall,
this is your life in the meta.
You'll make a post like, I support this person for president or something.
Yeah.
And Zuckerberg, if he doesn't like it, will come to your house in
Yeah.
Meta and he'll pick it up and he'll be like, this is mine now. And then he'll disappear.
It's just funny how social
and he'll
media...
slap you with the force.
I'm dead serious. I'm calling my shot. I called Xbox buying Obsidian. I called all this Fable getting remade. I'm calling it right now.
We're going to start new.
Meta life for the metaverse.
Well, I think they're going to probably nuke Facebook anyways to get rid of all the like lawsuits and stuff they got.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty bad.
maybe that's a good time to Realm Reborn when you got the
I think it's happening.
Justice Department knocking at your door, your virtual door. I'm not letting you in. Get the battle pass. You can
Meta
come
life.
Yeah, battle pass for meta.
in. Get the battle pass. You can come into my house.
That's actually hilarious that you say that.
What happens when you go to high school in like 2038 and you can buy the battle pass for high school?
all that?
You get to skip a grade.
Instead of getting a Chromebook, you get a MacBook.
$100. You get to skip a grade.
They download it to your brain. You just
Yeah.
go party for a year instead.
That sounds awful.
Wow, our kid is going to have a cool school.
I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time until they start making school in VR. And then it's like, hey, you don't send your kid, just put the helmet on them and tell them to sit there and be in the classroom with everyone else.
It's only a matter of time before the helmet is your life.
I mean,
It's
it's the truth. Like, I
100
mean,
years.
people want that, and interaction. Toss it out the door. You have a helmet. You have a pair of glasses.
I was surprised. We talked about this on the last podcast that on TikTok when they first was showing, I was just seeing clips, all those clips on there for Meta, and there were some people who were like, "Yeah, it looks cool," or "Wow, the possibilities." But overwhelmingly, I was surprised because there's a lot of like Gen Z, like, "Oh, they're going to be really like this." There was a ton of people on there like, go outside, check outside. And I overall, I think people will adopt it and they'll like it. But I was surprised. I was like, wow, there's a lot of people that actually still want to just have face to face, and that is the most fun thing.
I do think that generations
best graphics
tend to reject the past generation's ideas pretty early on because that's how like.
But that's why I was surprised.
That's kind of how like
everybody
Reformation's done. Like you look at something, you're like, oh, I saw what they did, and 9 times out of 10, past generations only see the negatives. They don't really like to see the positives, and they say, well, what can we do to make the negatives better? And that's how you get that's how we are who we are today. Like very critical, self-analyzing kind of ideas. So like the generations before us, I look at them like, man, they're crazy. Like they're very screen driven. Like and all this stuff. I'm like, go outside. Like go. But then the generation before them is now like, dude, like get off your phone. Like I have teenagers who are in my ministry and they're like, yeah, I don't want a phone. I just don't want one. I'm like, why? I'm like, I have to be on it if I have one.
That's why I was surprised. Like, oh, maybe.
And I'm like, well, this is crazy. Like, are we? But then I think the generation past them are gonna be like, well, give me more technology. You know what I mean? Like, it's an
give me more.
flow.
Nothing is more annoying to me than people that are like in their 50s and 60s that complain about young people and their phones. Because those people are on their phones.
They're way
time.
worse. My dad, dude, I'll never forget when I had to set my phone up for my dad. And it's so funny because he's like, this stupid thing, I don't know how this works. But then he spends 8 hours playing Candy Crush. And it's like, what's wrong? He's like, I need my Candy Crush account pulled across. And it's like, dude, you're more addicted than anything else. But again, it's that you don't understand, you don't know until you know kind of mentality.
Yeah, maybe Gen Z, but like, your stupid millennials are on your phone all the time. No, I think they're on the phone.
No, they are.
They're just a bad. Welcome
So
to Meta.
Maybe it'll be the DweeBros Meta podcast.
Who knows? Can I talk about?
I think you have
I was in a. I had an experience that felt like a drug deal, but it wasn't a drug deal.
Now, I do want to hear this because I think it involves something I'm very interested in. So, go ahead.
So, Facebook Marketplace, I like to check that sometimes. And I was scrolling through, and I saw a post that had old Pokemon fossil packs. And these were packs I used to get as a kid.
Now, I'm telling you right now, that would be red flags for me. I would be worried.
Oh, about what?
I'm like, what if these are fake?
Yes. So here is where I was at. I looked at these, clicked on there. They weren't wanting like $20 for them, whatever.
You're good.
I won't go into prices, but the amount was significant. But I looked at the price and went, that's a good chunk of change. But it was still a discount off if you had to get them on eBay. Like these are rare things to find, these packs.
Yeah, vintage packs.
So I messaged the person. I didn't like super lowball him, but I sent out an offer, and I was like, I'll just see. I always send out offers to see, like, here's what I'd be willing to get, and this would be cool to get for that price. Sent out an offer. They said, I'm more comfortable at this price, like in between. I was like, I'm just going to pass on it. But then, like, right after, like, 30 minutes later, like, I'll take cash if we can do a cash on this. And I was like, oh, shoot. Immediately, I went into Frick. I need to research, because I haven't done a lot of research, because I know that these packs are faked a lot.
Or resealed.
Resealed. So what people will do with these old Pokemon packs is they'll open it, take out the rares,
and then
they'll take a curling iron or glue, and they'll put the packs back.
People are crazy.
Hey, it's gotten... do not ever want to buy a pack. If you're listening, do not ever buy a pack that is resold from a reseller unless it's a trusted card shop.
Yeah, so I went online and they said I just looked up the night before I was like meeting with this person. I was like, how do I find like the fakes? And I'm
worried for you right now.
I spent a lot of research time
Yeah.
on this, because I was like, if this was like a little, like, let's just say $100. I spent more than $100, surprise. $100 thing or whatever.
Yeah.
If I lose out on that, it's like, oh, that really sucks. But whatever. This amount, the amount I was spending, I was like, I was getting sweaty
How many packs
thinking
were you
about
purchasing?
it. So originally it was 13 packs of these.
Holy.
Of these fossil packs. Now, he did tell me later, he was like, hey, these were my brother. So I asked him, I was like, are you the original owner? Did you get these or whatever? And he said, these were in a storage unit my family owns. My brother ended up taking 5 of those because he said, I'm going to sell them on eBay. His brother was like, I know what these are worth. And that guy knew what they were worth basically too. Because he wasn't wanting $10 a pack. But all that, aside, so he has those 8 packs or whatever. And the day of, I'm like, frick. So I'm still watching videos. I'm like, I got to get all these, whatever. Then I was seeing online, the other way you can tell what are in these packs is you have to weigh them.
Yep.
With like a very accurate, like precision scale. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I went to Walmart, found a scale. So I'm like, I'm about to like bring this money, a good amount of money, and like a drug scale to this coffee shop. So we met at a coffee shop, public place or whatever. But like going up, I was like kind of nervous. I was like, dude, there is like an envelope full of money. I'm waiting for a shootout, like the beginning of Heat.
About Breaking Bad stuff.
Like,
dude.
I was like, what is about? Yeah, I felt like Walter White walking into this thing, and Tuco was gonna be there. But guy comes in there, or the guys already there, come in, sit down, and he pulls out the pack and puts it on the table. And it's crazy. It might as well been like cocaine he was showing me at this thing. And I was staring at the thing. I was like, this is just really rare.
How clean are they? They were clean?
They were clean. Yeah, they were clean packs and stuff. And his story, and like, of course, I'm not trusting anybody at all with that.
If you're listening to this, we trust you now.
You're more skeptical of the stuff. Skeptical. Sorry. So he laid him down and was like, wow. So what I did though, I was like, hey, I need to like check these out. And he's like, yeah, go ahead and look at whatever. And I was like, I'm going to like look at these and whatever. So I sat there and meticulously went through these 8 packs, and I'm like pulling up the seal. I'm checking the edges to make sure they're not glued. The first thing you check is like they're not curling iron, because it takes the creases out.
Yep.
All the creases were there.
Nice.
I was checking the bottom. Like there was no like pilling.
And I remember correctly, you said that these packs are elongated, which is a good sign.
So I didn't know about this, but when he was showing in the pictures, I was like, oh, that's weird. But I went on eBay, and like some were looking that way.
Yeah.
There's like a longer tag, which these would hang on to like the thing, but they weren't punched. They had never been put on the thing.
Probably from a booster box then or something.
Yeah. So long story short, so I get these. I'm staring at them forever. And then I was like, I'm going to have to weigh these. And like, I pull out my scale, and he's like, the Pokemon game has changed. Like, things are
different.
And I'm laughing as I pull out the scale. I can't even like look at him with a straight face, because like I have all this money in my pocket, and I'm weighing these Pokemon packs. There was one other guy in the coffee shop. Like we were there like midday or whatever, but there was one guy in the coffee shop,
and staring at you.
If he saw what was going on, it probably looked like an alien world, like to him. So I'm weighing each pack, and here's the problem. One thing I didn't know was what the heavy thing and whatever.
Yeah.
But I did know what they should have been, which is like 2 ounces, something, whatever else. I forget what it was. But I I started weighing these, and they were all around the same weight, and there were some heavier than the others, whatever. So come to find out, when I got home, I checked them again because I'm like freaking out while I'm there. But there was like 3 heavier packs out of the 8 that I got. So I was happy with that. So, but
that's actually really good.
I waited all or whatever. We came to a deal because he had those 8 whatever, and it was, so I had to I counted the money out. So it's like all this money, the scales there, all this stuff. So I did a Pokemon drug deal, but was very happy with the deal. I ended up sending the group chat.
Yeah.
Because I was earlier looking for, there's a new celebration packs, the newer packs that are out. And I put in our group chat, and I think Kenny or you I couldn't find them at Target. I walked in, the newer stuff, and I sit in the group chat and I was like, I couldn't find them, but I found these.
Hey.
And Kenny immediately texted me in that group chat, oh my God, what, please let me have one, please, whatever. And I was going to get you ended up not wanting one, but I was going to get one for you guys. But, so he immediately texted me individually, and then he called me. He's like, where is it?
We were on the phone when you sent the text.
Yeah.
And he was like, Jacob. I was like, what? And he's like, Zach Pike bought fossil packs. And my first reaction was, why? Because in my mind, I was like, I would be so scared.
Yeah, I was scared.
My heart would be pounding.
Yeah, I was scared and nervous about getting these, but at the same time, the price was whatever, and the offer I sent was fair to me. So
you ended up securing more packs afterwards now too.
So that guy, after we we did the deal was done. We had to dodge the cops.
That's how they get you to come back.
He said, he was like, hey, there's more stuff coming out of the storage unit, whatever. I might have more of these packs because we're just digging through all this crap. And I was like, yeah, I'd be interested. So that guy did get back with him, and he's like, I found 2 more packs. They're kind of fricked up more than the other one. And I was like, okay, just let me take a look at them. Sure enough, one of them had a hole kind of in it, and some of the pack was kind of open. So when I got there, I really took down the price. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to pay that.
Smart.
And he was like, I was like, I can only give you this for it. It was still significant, but it wasn't much. And he was like, okay, because he saw that it was open.
He knows you're legit now.
Yeah. So I got the hookup. He was like, I will be in contact because I think I have old stuff that you might be into. So
well, that's awesome, man.
What are fossil packs?
So they had the original base pack of Pokemon cards.
They came out in 95.
The original packs. Then they had the I think the
Jungle set.
I think Fossil might have
Fossil
been
came next, then Jungle set.
That was the 2nd gen of these first gen of whatever. And then those are just very rare. They're very expensive. Because what did I do when I was a kid going into Kmart? I was opening
ripped
them
and threw them in the toilet and did other things.
So I kind of want I'm still deciding what I'm doing with these. I want to get some of them graded. I want to get one of them graded.
You
and
definitely want to look into that.
Just the pack itself and stuff. Just because I want to have that on the shelf. Kind of how I do the Charizard and
I think
my
when I look at those different things and I look at because I went out and got the original 95 base set, and it's not all 151 of the cards. It's not. The first base set that came out wasn't the 151. Once they added the Jungle and the Fossil, then you can get all 151. But what's interesting is Fossil and Jungle, while they are cheaper, the packs hold an incredible value.
Yes.
One, because of the art design. People love the art design.
It looks awesome.
Those packs.
And I remember getting those from Kmart and for $3 a piece.
Yeah, but you get those graded, they come back as a good grade. I mean, that's stuff that you sit on, man, and it's an investment.
And that's the other thing I'm literally gambling on is those 3 heavy packs. If you open them, and I know that they have a holographic rare in there because they're heavier, if that is centered or whatever, and it's a good card and I get it graded, then the value is very high.
I'm trying to remember what cards. I know
it's Aerodactyl, it's Lapras, and Zapdos, Articuno, and all those.
I know the legendary birds came in there.
Are in that.
Because there are certain cards that they're chase cards, the cards you want to get out of the set. And the base set you had to chase Zard. You wanted your Zard.
Yes.
Yeah,
that base set is all about
I think
Charizard.
Did Jungle do Dragonite or did Fossil do Dragonite?
I'm not sure.
Because Dragonite was a chase card in one of those sets as well.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
How much does a fossil pack go for on eBay? Standard. I know
it depends on the weight stuff, but probably $200 to $275. I was seeing them range for per pack,
$200 to $300 per pack. Right.
Yes.
So what's the rarest card that could pop up in that pack?
You'd have to.
I'd have to look up.
But there's a top
set.
And how many of those are there? 5, 4?
Typically in the most sets, it's 5 or 4 cards that are
Is there a card that could pop in that set that's worth 3 times the value of the pack?
If I grade it, it could be upwards of 600.
Depends on what grade you pull.
What could be up with the pack?
That rare card that's in there. So remember I said there was 3 heavy packs?
Yeah.
That means one.
There could be.
Yeah.
But in all likelihood, the pack has some junks and an all right card.
Yeah.
The heavies would have
The heavies will have most
heavies-
likely a rare. No, it's guaranteed to have
it's
a
guaranteed
rare.
to have a rare.
Now, would it have one of the rares you're chasing? You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, but you know that if I get that graded, that's what
That's
I'm trying to gamble on. If I
They
get that
just
graded,
changed. I know we're going on a tangent. Just track
But
along-
it's
track along with
but
this.
there's not really any likelihood.
No,
it's
but
a
that's
very
the fun of it.
no. It's okay. I'm not. I'll have your fun, but like, if you bought a pack on eBay to open it, there's almost no likelihood you would make your money off of that
No,
pack
no
with
way.
the cards inside.
No way.
So you're buying the potential.
yes.
I think I have a rule of thumb here, and it's an honest rule of thumb.
It's what we call bad investment.
Yes.
if you're planning to
Um,
open it, but I guess
If
people aren't.
You buy a pack that's that vintage, you need to either A, flip it, or pray to God. Because
That's what I'm saying. Like the other stuff, like is
If I was you-
I'm not opening those packs.
I'd open the weighted ones.
But the weighted ones, that's what I'm saying. The weighted ones could very well be worth that risk for me.
It wasn't until 2020 that they changed the weighting system.
Yeah.
People used to go into stores like Target, bring a weight and weigh packs individually and buy all the heavy ones.
So how do they avoid that now?
They changed the card type. So what was screwing them up was they had a card in there that was made for the digital game. And
Yeah.
that if the heavier one had that type of card in it,
Oh,
and it
okay.
had a lighter card, so you knew right then and there.
But wasn't the fossil pack didn't have that
no,
that
but
card
the same
in
thing
it?
was the holographics were
Or heavier. Yes.
So that's how you know. And
Yeah.
again, that's why I think and it's fun. It's a
Yeah.
good thing. You pay for the experience.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're able to do that. Now,
That was the thing. I was like, I might open one on stream. Like
I would
of
open the heavy one.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe open the heavy one because if it's a good card and it's centered and it's a great like rare,
I will tell you this.
that's worth getting graded. Like,
You know, the crazy thing is that you could buy the entire, and this is what's going to blow your mind, you could buy the entire fossil set for roughly about $350.
Yeah.
$300 to $350. A pack in itself, and this is how crazy the market's gotten with Pokemon cards, does sell for 200 plus.
yeah,
What do you
Easy.
mean you could buy the whole set?
All the cards.
the individual. If you bought individual, so that's what he does when
Yep.
he's just getting the newer cards.
You
He's
could
buying
just buy
the
all the
individual.
cards for $350.
Yeah.
yeah, and they're not going to be near mint condition. They're going to be lightly played,
Yeah.
but for me, I'm just trying to grab them, put them in a case, and display them.
Yeah,
So I want, again, I know we're going to tangent. I want the base set, I want jungle, and I want fossil. I want all three of those sets. Those are the sets I remember as a child.
Yeah.
These are the cards I love. I want them framed up, and I want them to have them forever.
yeah,
That's my goal now. That's all I care about.
yeah,
For you, I think you're sitting on something that's awesome.
yeah. I'm excited.
Really
so
cool.
He might find some more packs. Might have some more stories.
You might
but
see a special stream where he opens a fossil pack.
Who knows?
That would be an exciting experience for sure.
And then if it sucks, then it'd be a really funny stream. Not for me.
I would just hate for you to open it and
And
it'd
it
be
sucks.
like you got a muck. You're like, ah.
Because it's not like I spent $4 and whatever.
I just like, for me, it's the reaction too of it. Like,
There are a lot of people that go on streams and open up old packs.
Yes.
So with all of that happening, it makes unopened packs that much more valuable
yep,
because they're chewing
Yeah.
through the old inventory.
Yeah.
dude, I see all the
for
time.
clicks.
I see
That's
there's a
they're
Twitch.
kind of
If
making
I
more
were you,
money on
I
that.
would not get rid of it. I would keep maybe open one.
Yeah.
I would keep them sealed because you have so many streamers going through and opening the old stuff. They just ascend in value.
Yeah.
And that's why I agree with. I mean, right now,
And that's why I'm going to get the different. So I have all the three arts. He had it's Lapras, Aerodactyl, and Zapdos on the art.
that's
Keep
awesome.
one of each.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grade each of those and
Yeah.
keep that because that's what I did with my Blastoise, my Venusaur, and Charizard. Not to like sell or anything. Maybe someday investment wise, but like I really kind of just want to display those more than anything as like a childhood like.
I'm with
cool
you,
thing.
dude. I think it's an awesome thing. I think it's a smart thing to do for sure.
Yeah. And now I got to find base set. I've had dreams before of finding base sets at thrifts or like at
If
yard
you
sales
find
and
a
stuff.
base set pack for cheap,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, man. Those are valuable.
Speaking of yard sale stuff, I started a new series. Funny enough, at the end of yard sale season, but I started a new series, video game yard sale haul is what
Nice.
I'm calling it. I don't really have a full name. Maybe it'll change one day. Maybe we'll retcon the name.
We've done
Lucas
that
style.
before.
Lucas style. But started a new series. The first episode is very long because it's all of October and it's an unreal kind of haul I had. But long story short, I go out yard selling every weekend. The season is ended, but sometimes I find good stuff. And I actually, after 2 years of really every weekend going, found some amazing stuff. And you can check out that video. It's very long. but it's pretty unreal what I found. It's
I actually
pretty.
was watching over it.
It's
earlier today.
unreal what I was able to find. But
Game hunts.
game hunts.
Ooh, maybe we'll have a survey in the Discord.
Yeah. What should I call
That's a
this?
good idea.
Maybe we'll see. If you're not in the Discord. Join the
Any
Discord.
hint of what you found? Like, if I'm a fan of
The
X, I
thumbnail
should
has
watch.
the thumbnail has a Nintendo 64 controller,
He's
but
holding
if
it
you
up.
like Pokemon cards, if you like old vintage game systems,
You found a lot. I think you had a sealed PlayStation 1 in there.
not sealed, but
Oh,
complete in a
complete
box.
box,
Complete
complete
box.
box, I hyped it too much. My bad.
Yeah. There was also something, I won't spoil this, but something I think I've talked about on the channel before. I was like, oh, I really want that. And this person had that like there. It was pretty crazy. So,
Well, that's
Uh,
exciting.
so check that out.
A couple things I just want to kind of bring it home. I did watch some TV. believe
What'd
it
you
or not.
watch?
Loki. Finally watched that because I'm preparing for what should be, in my opinion, one of the greatest Marvel events since Endgame. Spider-Man, and it's going to be absolutely nuts. Guys, I'm losing my loving mind about Spidey-Man.
Spidey-Man. The
Listen,
Spidey-Man.
let me explain. I leave for New York the day the movie comes out. So I have to see it Thursday night at midnight.
Dude, I'll go with you.
I
midnight.
have to.
I'll go
I'm-
midnight release.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll wear my mask. I'll wear
you
my
can
spandex.
get early showings too. You can get like a 7 p.m. We did
Well,
that for Star Wars.
we
a few
need
times.
me and you, whoever wants in. we
Sam,
need
yeah.
to go see that because I leave at 6 a.m. the next day, and I do not want to miss. I don't want to sit a weekend.
Why don't you
not
see it
gonna
in New
watch
York?
No,
It'd be
I
like
want to
Spider-Man.
watch it right when it comes
Yeah.
out.
Let's
I
go
don't want to
see
get
it.
spoiled by Twitter.
Yeah, you need to see.
Yeah.
That's a movie you need to see. Night. I'll go with you. Let's do it.
So I had to prepare for it. So I watched Loki because apparently the multiverse is going to become this next phase's key term. And Loki does a good job setting that up. Have you guys seen? I don't know.
I
You're
saw
pretty-
Loki.
You saw it.
You're pretty disconnected from the MCU.
Yeah, I'm out.
Man, you're missing out, bud. I understand.
He's really missing out. This never been better. It's really in a great
Loki,
place.
in my opinion, is a great TV series for a side character to make him relevant. And honestly, I'm glad. I love his actor. I forget his name. I can't remember.
Tom Hiddleston.
He's a great actor. He plays a great Loki. But on top of that, what's awesome was when he. I'm just going to.
Loki spoilers.
Spoiler.
here.
If you're listening, just skip forward a little bit. There's some spoilers. But when he gets dropped into the pit, where all the other Lokis keep getting thrown into.
Yeah, like that time. It's like a planet outside of time and space.
Yeah.
It's like the garbage dump.
That was pure bliss for me.
I loved Loki because I don't care about that character before this show,
Yeah.
and I was like, what, they do such a good job of just exploring like, why is Loki always
In the bull crap,
he's
dude.
always in the bull crap, and they touch on it of this is your destiny. Like,
Yep.
hey, you get basically arrested by the time cops, and they throw you in like a space like outside of time and space because you're trash. They see you as trash. They see you as a nuisance, and there are hundreds of other Lokis. One's a kid, one's an old man, like,
Yep.
and they're all like, "Why are we always getting thrown in the trash?" And one's a woman, and like, I just love that concept of a show of his entire like destiny is to always be basically treated as the villain that gets thrown away.
Yep.
And then I love how he turns out on his head. He's like, "That's not what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm not gonna do the villain thing.
Yeah.
He got to see what his arc always ends as and take ownership for his own arc and say, I want to do something else.
That was
I thought it
honestly-
was such a cool
And that was a great. I'm impressed because by episode 2, episode 3, they gave the motivation for Loki's character throughout the entire series by showing him the ending of like where he died.
They showed him his death.
And I remember sitting there, I'm like, yeah, that fricked somebody up. Like, but what's cool is that the very end of the show, when him and the girl Loki were next to each other, and they were talking, they both clearly wanted different things, and they were still the same person at the end of the day. And which is awesome because multiverse, the DNA of which a person is made and by multiverse standards doesn't make them the same person. They just have the same name. They can still want different things. They can still do things, but their characteristics will still be the same. And that's what makes me excited for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because we're getting all three of them, baby.
We are the variant stuff that Loki introduced, just that concept that like, okay, there's going to be all these different universes and you're going to have variants, but they're going to want different things. I also love that Loki fell in love with himself. He fell in love. Like if he was going to actually ever love somebody and not betray them, it would be literally himself, but a woman. Which I loved all of the debates that kind of came out of that and everything. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good show.
Yeah,
I really did.
I'm tracking with you.
The ending though too, Basically, spoilers. I mean,
Spoilers.
this is
Spoilers,
full-on
Spoiler.
The whole show, there's these like timekeepers that are like controlling everything, and
Yep.
Owen Wilson works for them. In the 4th episode, they go into like the throne room where they all are, and they have a big battle, and they like cut their heads off, and they look like space lizards, and they're robots, and then
Yep.
it's like, well, who's actually controlling time and everything? And they finally like go and they trace it all the way back to in that world where it's like the end of space and time. They go like behind this big dragon thing, and like it's a guy that's in a castle, and he is a genius. He's like he literally runs. He runs all of time, but he like gives it up at the end, and he offers Loki to run it, and the girl Loki kills the guy. His name, the one who remains. And it basically just fractures reality. And now all these different multiverses,
Free flowing.
there's nothing pruning them any longer because the people that were taken care of. So that is why it looks like in Spider-Man, we're going to get Toby and Andrew Garfield and
Do you see the Brazil
Doc
trailer?
No, Doc Ock's coming back.
didn't see the
It just
Brazil
looks
trailer?
crazy. No,
Do you not hear what happened?
no, what happened?
So you know the scene where you saw Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard jumping at the one Spider-Man.
Yeah.
At the very bottom during the Brazil trailer, they did a terrible edit, and they showed the Lizard getting punched by nothing,
But there's nobody there.
but there's no one there.
I saw that. Yeah.
And that's like, honestly, at this point, though, I'm convinced this is part of marketing strategy. Like,
Yeah.
it's like giving us little tidbits of like what we know we want, but not really confirming we're getting
Yeah.
what we want.
I just think it's so cool. They finally solved, because I love comic movies, but it's been so confusing of like,
Yep.
I love the MCU and the MCU is great, but then like there's this continuity and that continuity. And what I love is they've basically in their own world made it to where like they can bring in people from the other ones and it doesn't matter because they could be variants or they could, like, and
they need to
don't-
find Star Wars timekeeper.
Well, that's what I said when I was watching Loki.
Kill
That's-
that timekeeper.
When I was watching Loki, I finally realized because there was all these cool Easter eggs in the world with all the
Yep.
trash.
Yep.
And I saw someone say, like, what if like there was a Millennium Falcon? Because there was all these callbacks to other things, not even Marvel. And people were like, the sad thing is like the Star Wars wouldn't let you do something fun like that.
Yeah.
And when I was watching Loki, I was like, I feel like anything could happen in the show because they're doing so many things that are weird and crazy. And that's when I realized I was like, I've seen everything Star Wars will ever show. Like they will never
Yeah.
do anything.
They
I
won't
don't
break the
expect.
formula.
Sounds
Yeah.
like everything's about to be fan fiction here soon.
Well, it's honestly just exciting because you know why? The MCU has given itself the ability to break away from comic books. But they can also stick true to comic books. They could do whatever they want now because they have established that, hey, we are now allowed to blow up anything.
Howard Duck might show up.
He already did.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
He was in Guardians 1.
Oh, he was.
Nice try. I liked it, though. It was actually funny.
One. So on the
Betty
Marvel
Boop
note,
might be
not
here.
a TV show, but I did see Eternals.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Off
so
the cuff, just yes.
I would say this. I thought it was a good movie. I think it's an upper third Marvel movie. I would say the thing about this movie is it does not feel like a Marvel movie
Yeah, that's what people said.
at all. Like in any way, it's not. It's shot. It's a very beautifully shot movie. The director that did it, I'm blanking on her name. She won Best Director and Best Picture at the Oscars last year
Okay.
for
I don't know who it is, but okay.
I don't know why I can't think of her name. But she's a really good director and a really good writer. And so this movie, it's like the most human. Like, Marvel movies, they don't really feel like real people.
No.
Sometimes, like, they feel like, I don't know, like, I like Marvel movies, but especially with
Over-top
the
characters.
solo movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they just feel very like, okay, here's the big bad guy, and then here's this, and
Yep.
then here's this, and then the big fight scene, and like there's fighting and stuff in the movie, but it feels much different. It's like
More story driven, maybe more character development.
the story is basically, in Final Fantasy VI, where halfway through the game, like the world ends, and then like, did you play Final Fantasy VI?
No, but I'm tracking.
Well, in Final Fantasy VI, halfway through the game, the world ends, and then like these characters that were all together, like you start with one, and they have to go back and find all the party and get them back together. This is like a movie that starts there, and then it goes back to when they were together originally, and it goes back and forth.
Okay.
And so it reminds me of Final Fantasy VI, where you spend a lot of the movie trying to get all the gang back together. And then once you do, there are just the main issue with the movie, the main like conflict is a philosophical issue of what's the right thing to do. But it's from these aliens' perspective. They're aliens. The Eternals are not from here. And so like it had a lot of elements I loved. Like the movie starts and there's like a spaceship and it's flying through space and like they're waking up and it's like Alien or Prometheus where it's like very silent and they're all coming out of these things and they show up on Earth and then it kind of jumps to modern day and it goes back and forth. But I really liked the core like conflict of what they end up having a disagreement about, like what's the right thing to do. I would just say that because there's so much jumping back and forth in time that like I think that there's just a lot of movie and there's a lot that they're trying to get done in 2.5 hours and it's a little messy. That would be my opinion. But what I like is they're going for something very different. It is not a normal Marvel movie and I appreciated that.
I'm going to watch, I have it on my list to watch Shang-Chi this week.
Shang-Chi's awesome.
Yeah, Shang-Chi, sorry.
No, you're good.
But it came to Disney Plus. So I'm gonna actually, I just didn't want to go to the movies to see it. I didn't want to go out.
That's like a very typical Marvel movie, but one of the best solo ones they've done.
I heard it was really good.
Yeah.
But Eternals I heard has been mixed. So that's probably why what you said at the end kind of makes sense to me.
Eternals is very mixed. I think it is a little messy with some of the... It reminds me of Prometheus a lot. Like the characters in Prometheus are kind of whatever, but the ideas hold up and the visuals hold up. That's how this is. Like, I actually really like the main characters in this movie, but just some of the plotting is just like what... There's a scene in the middle of this movie, like the whole movie stops and this thing happens and it takes like 5 minutes and you walk out of the sequence like, what are they going to do about this? Like, it's like this whole 26 movies, it's all over. Like I don't even know how to like go forward from this. And it does very big picture things.
Yeah.
Like to the degree of, we talked about The Leftovers recently and like how people in that world were fricked up.
Yeah.
Like the Thanos snapping and people disappearing and coming back and stuff. You could draw parallels at The Leftovers with what happens in this movie when the things that happen in this movie wind up on the news or whatever. The human beings that live in this Marvel world, like they're all gonna have to look in the mirror and ask some real questions about God and existence because it's over. Like it's not just aliens coming. It's like, I don't even know, like they should be questioning everything. So basically,
it's funny. There is one more tidbit I want to say. I only have a few more minutes, but let me just say this. I did love the idea, the fact that like they make fun of themselves so easily, but they also have a good way of pushing. Like we could blow this up any minute if we want to. Loki kind of did that a little bit when he was in the storeroom and he was threatening that guy, and he's like, "I have an Infinity Stone." Like, these don't do anything here. They're paperweights.
Oh, that was the best thing. Yeah, when Loki's got arrested by the time cops, he's in like their time police station, and he opens a drawer and he finds these stones. Like, I'm gonna do it, and they're like, "You're not in your own universe, dummy. Like that's a paperweight. Like that's nothing."
It's literally because like all of the Infinity Stones are just laying there in a drawer. He's like, "My man throws them away like every week. Like we get a new Tesseract every week. Like we know what we're doing."
That's
fine.
Fine.
They like to crap on themselves now that they've been.
That's fine.
But it's been
I have seen, and I'll talk about this next podcast. I did start Squid Game. 2 episodes in, freaking loving it, but I want to like finish it and talk more about that. Me and you watched Zack Snyder's freaking 4-hour cut
That's why
of the Justice League. Me, Travis, and Zach got together and watched the Zack Snyder cut, 4 freaking hours long. Marvel is really good. After coming out of that, I was like, I want to watch every Marvel movie, clean my
I want to say
palette.
this. I did have fun. Like we watched it the best way you can, which is with friends and having a good time.
It was fun, but it was, I will say that the CG was ungodly bad at some
It
parts.
was extremely awful.
It was ungodly
CG.
bad.
Unfinished.
There's like parts when like they would go that cyborg character and it looked like they were in like a Neil Breen CG part. Like it was
that the
was that
main bad guy. It looked better than the originals Justice League, I guess, which I didn't see. But like even the new one, like the updated one, looked like an Xbox 360 cutscene.
There was a lot of stuff that looked like a cutscene to a PlayStation game.
I'm telling you, DC, man,
it was something else. But I will say, the thing I did like after my mind was just melted from this movie, like, oh my gosh, what are we doing here? The very end, there is like an apocalyptic like end game sequence. And guess who shows up? Spoiler alert for those who have not seen this, but I'm gonna spoil it for you. The end of Zack Snyder. I think it's exclusive to Zack Snyder's thing. Batman is wearing a trench coat and has a gun. And Jared Leto is there, and Batman says, and this seems like a Zach Pike joke. he turns to Joker. Joker says something like, "Yeah, you can't do." He does his little Joker stuff to Batman, trying to make him mad. And Batman looks at him and says, "I'm gonna effing kill you." he says that to Joker. It sounds like a Zach Pike joke, like a weird video we'd make. So,
oh my gosh!
I think I ended up giving that movie a 2 out of 5. It did entertain me. It did have entertaining parts, but there was parts where I was like, "Why did this get made?"
4 hours.
And seeing, I watched Eternals, not to go back to those, and then I watched this. Eternals on Rotten Tomato is like a 48, which to me is crazy. It has a much higher audience rating. And the Snyder Justice League has like a 78. People are freaking idiots. That's all I know what to say.
I can't use Rotten Tomatoes as a measuring stick.
Yeah,
The case.
I just, the long and the short of it is, I had a lot of fun watching that with the boys.
Yes.
But I will say, if this had been up to me, like, I would have never made it through this movie.
I haven't watched a single Justice League movie.
I think Man of Steel is a good movie. I think Batman v Superman is a pretty good movie.
No.
I liked both of those.
And if I had more time, I'd argue the grave on this one.
So like me liking both of those movies, it should say something that I'm like, just watch the ending of this movie.
I think the biggest problem, and I think we all three agreed on when we watched it, was this movie tried to supercut Spark Notes the Marvel stuff of taking that long.
Yeah.
And they tried to shove in an entire character at some point, their own movie in this side of this movie,
Aquaman?
Cyborg.
Oh, Cyborg.
Cyborg.
So I didn't care about anything that was going on, but it was fun time.
Oh, wait, we got to touch on the worst character in a comic book movie. I would say the modern era is
the Flash.
Every single thing the Flash does and says in this movie
is obnoxious.
It just annoys me.
You know what's sad? Because he has a TV show, and it's amazing.
Oh, what's the TV show he's in?
Is it when he chokes that girl?
We found. Did you hear about in real life this actor
Ezra Miller?
He choked a woman, and everybody was like, "What happened?" And there was no story. And then, like last month, he said that didn't Ezra come out himself or whatever? He's like made a statement. You're gonna find out soon what really happened with that.
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Could you imagine
choked a woman on the street?
Could you imagine if an actor choked somebody and then said a year later you're gonna find out what happened with that? But there's a scene that I laughed really hard at. So after we were looking that story up, and later in it, the Flash goes to grab and like choke this, and I was like, "Watch out! It's going to be a new story." So,
wow, I didn't know that.
But what TV show is it?
It's the Flash. It's literally the Flash.
Oh,
no! That's a different Flash.
I know. My point is like it's crazy because
I think they meant the same actor.
they have a Flash character.
They have a Flash character. That's phenomenal, and they just pooped on him and just said, "Hey, here's a
people love that Flash show."
Yeah. But this movie,
Flash,
I was going. I was groaning a lot. So
he says like just. Oh, he's so bad, dude. I don't even know how to even.
You're trying to remember like how to like. I just look it up on YouTube at this point, guys.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. I will never watch a DC movie unless it's like I will probably watch the new Batman.
Sure.
Rumor has it.
Are we doing multiverse? Are we gonna get?
Rumor
Keaton?
has it. DC is they're finally just kind of saying, let's just slow build it. Let's just start from the top. And this is where they're trying to. They have good characters, but they've realized they have for the past 6 to 7 years they've just tried chopping this thing up and making it work really quickly, and it's not there.
The one
Fresh
thing,
start.
I think the one thing I like with DC is right now is that they're just kind of like letting their continuity be like whatever.
Yeah.
Like they made the Joker movie, which was good.
Yep.
And they've made no attempt to connect that to anything. Then they're making the Batman, which doesn't have Ben Affleck in it, but then they're getting ready to make a Flash movie that does have Ben Affleck, but it also has Michael Keaton, who was Batman in the 80s. Like, I just think the more that they just let each movie be its own thing, they can make that their style.
Yeah.
It doesn't all need to build and connect.
Yeah. But I think that's a podcast.
Thinkathon not continue?
Oh, I finished The Burbs. But I think I kind of talked about that last time. So, it was funny.
Oh, real quick. Watch Leftovers?
Did you watch Leftovers?
Dude, I've been on vacation.
Okay, cool. He didn't watch Leftovers. Come back next week and find out he did next month when he doesn't do it again.
I didn't watch it.
Nope.
But thank you guys for listening. Hey, if you haven't yet, check out the DweeBros Twitter. It's all in the description. All the stuff you can follow down there. I haven't updated the Instagram in 8,000 years, but follow that too. It's all in there. You might see something one day.
What a pitch.
I can't.
So, hey, follow it, and one day you might see something pop up in there. We're gonna be kind of like Ezra Miller. We'll explain why that woman got choked, and we'll also post something in 1 year.
Okay, we're losing.
But
Clear.
yeah, check that out. And new shows. Hey, check out next season. I put out the final episode of Yard Sale. It'll be next year. Come back. Anything else? Hangouts. Check those out.
Got plenty. I got a Discord. Jump
Yes.
in there, talk with us, hang out with us. All different types of things like that. Again, in the description.
Yeah, we will talk to you in there. We will send us your controversial opinions about Thanksgiving in there.
I don't know so much controversy. Well, if you want to get down to the never mind. All right. Well, I think that's a podcast.
I won't be home for Christmas because I'm watching the DweeBros podcast. They are great at talking and playing video games.
The end.
Yeah.
The
No.
end.
No.
We
Nah.
wish you a
No, we didn't give you. We didn't sign you.
we
again.
wish you a merry.
We're letting you go.
I'll
We're letting you go. I got you.
be
It's over.
home.
Go home.